today was ridiculous again. It got better though at one point. Um, I seen the Rerees follow me again this morning. Okay, and then drive by my new work. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. After work, I went to Walmart. And some guy pulled up and said, they found everybody lying before. Is that why nobody's to say a word to her? It's like, you're slow, right? Actually got put in so-called police protective custody in 2018 in a protected light case. And an officer talked today per requirements of Department of Justice, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. Failure to notify for initiating and speaking to the other person in the home is abuse and misconduct, and failure to protect is abuse and misconduct goes into the right of privacy, illegal search and seizure. The officer would go to jail. That's why the Portage County Sheriff's Ms. Hall, we had no knowledge of anyone being in your home, nor was any of our officers in your home outside a protective light case. That would be illegal. Okay? And I said, you couldn't go listen, da da da. Yes. So what these people are saying they did is illegal. That's why they're wanted for stalking. Retired Judge Pete and his dirty friends are funny, kicking in my door 3 days after Dave met Michelle, putting up button cameras. And I told you, apparently, I guess they photoshopped shower scenes and where I had bruises and I was sick and getting sick on drinks. They were date rape drugging me and telling me to say something stupid, and I just have marks. That's not funny. I'm not in trouble, and they're wanted. And the Canton police already know that these weird stalking tapes are altered, and because so many people told on them. All right, so then somebody was stupid enough to yell out, I want to see that court order. See, they lied to people. There was a court order to watch me before. I talked to my one friend that used to work at the prosecutor's office. He's like, Karen, no judge would ever write that. It's like they would write their own arrest warrant. He's like, yes, they would. No judge is going to say, new people in this area haven't even moved in. I'm going to write a court order for someone to kick in their door, break in their personal property, put little button cameras up so one of our other judges' families can steal everything they have in life. And they can watch them and let other people in town watch them and friends, and we can Photoshop and we can date, rape, drug, and we'll steal everything they have. We're an extortion ring. We can do whatever we want. No judge is going to write that. No. Because the state would arrest him. The state would rescind his the license for him to be a judge, and he would be arrested for constitutional rights broke. It's 1 to 10 years for every constitutional right broke. Right to privacy, a right to remain quiet, a right to an attorney, a right to a fair court trial, bail and bond, and a right not to be mistreated. That's at least 5. Conflict of interest charges for friends and family is 1 to 10 and up to $1 million fine. Legal search and seizure is 5. Drugging is attempted murder is 20 to life. And then there is attempt extortion, 15. Yeah, that's why I call these people the Pinocchio group, the liar, liar, pants on fire cult. Nobody wrote them in court order. That's why the police never talked to me. That's why the prosecutor's office, when I reported Dave, never mentioned a word. Why? Because it was retired Judge Pete and his dirty friends doing it on their own. Because what they're saying is they're writing their own constitution in Portage County, that they're breaking in people's homes before they move in. They're stalking them with button cameras. And they're photoshopping scenes and date rape drugging them to steal everything they have in life. And it's an extortion ring run out of Portage County, and the judges are involved. That's life in federal prison. No judge gave him that court order. Because I told you, I even talked to the Portage County Sheriff. What these people are saying they did is illegal, and then they couldn't look or listen yet. So, yeah, they're not going to say some sitting judge is breaking federal laws. Okay? And then I had some idiot that said, Will said, just tell everybody she's crazy. Well, I already turned Will into headquarters, and I turned him into the Department of Justice. And, I thought about it the other day. I lived in Portage County. I Googled before what FBI office would be over Portage County. It's Akron. That or they would have Cleveland come down. They wouldn't have Canton come up in the task force. So where they said August 10th or 11th, 22, Walmart 62 by the hair salon, they tape an audio in every aisle in our Walmarts. Start following me. We called Will and explained Michelle, and he understood. And he set her up that no one will ever help her, and it's funny. No one will do the right thing and help her. My friend that worked at the prosecutor's office said what that agent did was considered a backdoor deal. We've seen a lot of that in the prosecutor's office where people were taking deals. They basically slip in a back door and take a payoff or get something they wanted and let some victim get victimized or killed, and it kept happening until someone actually fixed it. It's life. 1729 Department of Justice, badgering a victim, a witness, or an informant into a false statement. And if they get hurt, it's more jail time. And if it is, if they do take a bribe, it's more jail time. Just like when I tried to report what happened at Huntington Bank and he called me a liar, you either confess you're lying or I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? I was already crying my eyes out and they've been drugging me up, and I should have hung up with them and called the 1-800 line and some crazy agent just called me a liar and I tried to give a statement. He would have been fired on the spot. But I wasn't thinking clearly, and I was trying to tell him what happened, and I was so scared on top of it, and it's like, but this happened, and the banker said this to this lady, and you either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. He said, I'll arrest you. And I'm like, what? He said, I said, say it. It's like, fine, whatever. Okay. No coerced confession is admissible. You can't threaten to put somebody in jail if they don't say what you want. And you can't victimize a victim scared for her life. Okay? You can't use it. Even my friend that worked at the prosecutor's office, police know they can't use that. That agent can't talk to you like that, and that was illegal what he did. It's got to the point of ridiculous that no one's not helped you yet after what he did. Then they asked me if I knew if he had a girlfriend. I didn't know. Some guy's rambling, said, stop, she don't know. And then he's like, I'll list you an informant, give me all these big promises. Okay? Tell someone I'll list you crazy and no one can help you. My friend from the prosecutor's office, he used to work there, he started laughing ear to ear. He's like, that agent don't have that kind of authority. No one does. And in any protection program, you can tell whoever you want, you feel comfortable, and they can't say a word. He said, and he can't talk to you that way. It's illegal. It's part of badgering. It's threatening somebody. You either stay quiet or I'll make sure no one ever helps you. And then I'll insult your intelligence. Yeah, you can't do that. What he did is federal prison on a recorded line. Some idiot actually said that outside Walmart today. Some asinine person. Will said, you just left her crazy. Everybody should just say she's crazy. I lived through hell in a concentration camp set up by a retired judge, his dirty drug friends, and trying to save my family and keep them out of it. And they are so advanced where that agent started a protective light case and had an officer talk to Dave to make Karen around the house state case. Some of them call it that uniform or Karen's will. And it started September 27th, 18. Massillon Police work it. They watch my daughter-in-law, Dixie, on Federal Avenue. And they drive around trying to keep them safe because they tampered with their vehicles after my ex put a threat on her life. They wanted to make sure that I knew they were serious. Well, they tried to shoot me in the head driving. I had 6 stalkers in Walmart 62. There's a shooting night. I had to hide not to get killed. And people breaking in, stabbing me with needles. It wasn't even safe to close your eyes. You'd wake up with injection marks. Even if you locked your bedroom door, they would just come in and pick it, and then you just wake up and throwing up the next morning. I lost so much weight up there, I couldn't even keep saliva down from being drugged up so bad. It's documented. I weighed 212, 217 October 1st, and by February 24th, I weighed 150 pounds. I lost 62 to 67 pounds up there. I couldn't even keep saliva down. At times, I was losing 5 to 7 pounds a week. I was already starting to lose weight and dropping it quickly, and I was having marks on me, and I was getting sick on drinks and amnesia drugs you never remember. I just couldn't figure out why I was getting so sick. And I don't think retired Judge Pete for his daughter Michelle is funny, and nor do I think that agent. And Will worked in the courthouse of Canton. He should have never even seen my file. It should have went to an Akron agent. You do realize that? Because they were over Portage County. I Googled it. And for it to go to the task force in Canton, he had to call up and request it. I worked in a bank and I worked for loan companies before. I could put your social in and it will pull up every account that you had. And if it was a really old account, either a manager or someone in the back office could open it up and see everyone that ever touched your account. Our government's a lot more advanced. You put your name and your social in. And I'll tell you what, they know on the hotline who I talked to and who called me back that day, and that was so rude. And that was part of this. And he needs to go to jail for this. All these people do. They're highly dangerous, and domestic terrorism is a group of people stemming from political or religious based, okay, to further their own ideology, their own beliefs, with threats or harm to human life, and against the U.S. constitutional laws. You have a freedom of speech, First Amendment. Fourth Amendment, you have a right to privacy. Fifth Amendment, you have a right to remain quiet. Sixth Amendment, you have a right to an attorney. Seventh, you have a right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond. And eighth, not to be mistreated. For every constitutional right broke is 1 to 10. Conflict of interest for friends and family is 1 to 10 and up to $1 million fine. They are so advanced, they hacked into the Police Protect a Life case, sold it to regular people by Christmas 18th. It's common knowledge. And selling police information is 13. Impersonating federal officers is at least 3. These people, if somebody would actually come down here and work this case, they have these people like the Amish men with the beards. There are so many crimes in that legally bugged house. It's not even funny. And there's still Riri's that run around thinking it's funny that a retired judge and his drug friends will kill a wife and then extort money. And like they wouldn't do it to them instead of being scared of them. And appalled. I saw an innocent of everything in 18. My one set of grandkids, my ex-daughter-in-law Melissa was friends with my ex-husband's girlfriend, Michelle, and they made up mean games to pretend in an illegally bugged house, got caught stating they wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa and Grandma needs to get out, and to Flora later on that they were making everything up. As Massillon police put it, documented mean games to pretend. Nicer than some of the investigators. They called it fucking shit my family should be ashamed of. But no, the rest of my family spoke highly of me when I was with Dave. I can literally ramble through everybody that knows of the photoshopping of the shower scene, the date rape drugging. And since they sold a login by Christmas 18, it's public knowledge. People have laughed around me. Everybody knows what's going on but her family. And these people ought to get on their knees and beg God to forgive them because hell's waiting for them. Because where is it funny? Under attempted murder, drugs, kidnapping, stalking, and apparently photoshopping to extort money, jewelry, and all these crimes. Think any of this is funny that a retired judge is sitting back laughing because he can pay these people not to do their jobs. And Will was corrupt, and everybody knows it. And they need to arrest him, and they can go back and get him. And he's stupid. He could have said, when I called him up, he could have said, my God, Karen, there's 2 Perry police reports. David's the main subject, and that one other one is linked back to the church. There's 3 witnesses. Knowing that they're threatening to kill you, I'm putting you in the witness protection program. Get your clothes, and we'll have somebody draft up a annulment real quick. You can sign it. And he could have said, I'll change your name and I'll move you. Don't come back for over a year. Keep an eye on him. They give you money to start and take care of you. Make sure no one kills you. He could have done that. And Dave would have got the house. He would have got both vehicles, his money, had to pay me alimony. What they're doing now is extremely stupid. They're admitting to stalking. They're admitting to framing me. They did admit March 24th, 22, 1:30. Even Amy heard him. Everybody heard him. Because they sold the login. I was clear out in Canton. People were talking about that, hearing that bastard admit to framing me. They also heard him admit to the shower scene in the other room and drugging me and tell me to say stuff more than 10 on each. They need to go to jail. And people have even said, where's the law on this? Where is it? How many people do they have to kill or extort money? And like my friend from the prosecutor, it's got ridiculous that no one's not helped you. I've talked to retired sheriffs. Do you realize the officer's not helping you? It's actually federal law. They have to. And they could actually go to jail for the other person's crimes. It's aiding and abetting. One neighbor thought the mafia was involved. Well, there's drug dealers, and they said they're the only ones to get away with this because they pay everybody off. And because judges go to jail all the time. Another one. I was talking to a sheriff. He said judges go to jail all the time. They're not immune. And then, I had one ask me, they arrested your ex-husband, right? I said, no, he didn't get a ticket. He said, you reported him beating you at least, right? I said, I reported all this. He said, they arrested him, right? And I said, nothing. He said, it's actually illegal. And they get fired on the spot for not arresting him. Domestic violence are cut and dry. A female says she got beat by a male. You arrest him and let him work it out in court. They didn't even do anything. He said they don't even have a right to an opinion. They're to go arrest him and let it work out in court. He beat me during a protective light case. They have him in video, beating me with internal injuries and me not retaliating. And for not answering my phone, because I stopped answering it when I almost got shot in the head in the driving. And a slam, tuck, and swerve, so I stopped answering my phone. And so he chicken winged my arm, knocked me in the railing, damaged my rib cage, punched me with 2 fists in my stomach until I got permanent swelling in my intestine, had knocked my hip forward, had to have it put back in place. My rib cage is still damaged, and so is my intestines. Is he in jail? No. Should he be in jail for attempted murder? Yes. Should the rest of these people? Yes. And where does people think it's funny? Just because somebody has money and they're giving them money to make fun of me for being criminal's victim? Where is it funny? It doesn't matter if you were a retired judge, a retired president, a retired governor. You can't do any of these crimes and not go to jail. This whole thing is our nation's disgrace of our legal system. You know, I've always been so proud of our country because we can walk out of our house, exhale, and know you're free, and that you can walk around, you can go to stores, you can go anywhere you want, you can get any kind of education up to your capability, you can become whoever you want, and the government doesn't interfere your life. And they stop all this craziness and they keep peace and order. And for anybody to sit back and let all these crimes happen, how disgusting is this of our legal system? Everybody staying out of it needs to be fired and arrested. And they do need to find out exactly what agent called me and yeah. And they need to go to jail. I heard some guys talking about it. We heard one of our guys did this. And we're going to leave her out of this. A lot of people have been disappearing. I had a guy pull in a gas station. My one friend helped me with gas one week. And one of the guys that had been following me around for almost 4 years had his head like this. He's talking on his phone. He looks like he's going to be sick. Some guy comes out of the gas station. He said, I found out what's going on and we're out of here. When you find out that it's just the pathetic excuse of my ex-husband's ex-girlfriend's family doing this to me with her drug friends on their own, making all this crazy crap up, and then doing all that crazy stuff to me with that occult he goes to. It's really not funny. And it's really not funny when they run around slandering me. Oh, she's got charges. I can pass an FBI background check. I just got my med certs. I can pass a PCI background check, state. I can pass any background check in the world. They lie. That's why I call them the Pinocchio group. They were so stupid when I was in there doing the med-cert classes at the Department of Disability last week. First 2 days I could hear them outside. I thought, how'd you get in here? Because you got to get a key to get in. Did they corrupt somebody in here to say stuff outside the room? The third day it was quiet. It was nice. I could hear the teacher. It was peaceful. Peaceful. And I went to leave and there's two ladies said some people showed up and said they had special permission to follow her around and make fun of her. We called the police on them. Stalking and menacing. They didn't go to jail 2 to 10 years. See, these people where I walk off from them and I'll tell the police where to get the videos from it. If I confronted them and I called 911 on them and got their plates, they'd go to jail. They're lucky I walk off. They're very lucky. Hear the roars? It used to be so quiet here. You could hear my friend Becky across the street talk on her cell phone inside my bathroom upstairs. Had the window open to hear her clear across. There was no sound. Traffic could go by. There was no nothing. That's where they got their radios up and they sold the log in and you can hear it go back in. I'm supposed to be in police protective custody. Oh, my friend from the prosecutor's office. Once the government agrees to protect you, they can't unprotect you. It's illegal. Someone's going to try to kill you. They'll just find somebody else. They have to leave you an informant. They can't take you out of protection programs. It's illegal to. The FBI would have to switch you over to the witness protection program or another protection agency, but they'd have to speak to you first. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. They can't just say, See ya, bye. I hope they don't kill you. Uh-huh. And Dave already knew that's where that guy showed up at Paymers the night before I called Will back. Uh-huh. Can't investigate it. Found out it was done as a stunt. Mm-hmm. Canton's been all over this. Mm-hmm. They know about the tapes before being photoshopped and drugged. They're looking for who actually did it. Yeah. I don't even know what to think anymore. It's like I have the most stupid asinine people. If I never hear of a retired Judge Pete that fucked up Michelle, their dirty drug friends, and being date raped, drugged, and told to say something stupid in a shower scene in the other room, or anything else of that stupid, pathetic family that think they have to sink publicly this low to show how disgusting they are. And where the hell is the law? I went out to Dr. Rapika's office last week. There's two girls I seen them in the beginning of the case. They were there. They looked at me and said, "No, this is funny. We all know she almost died to save everyone." That's where that guy Vito wanted to meet me. I've had about 4 or 5 men want to come up and say hello and meet me because I almost died to save my family. They've pulled that log in, and people look at me like a hero because I lived through terror, trying to save my family and kept them out of it. It used to make me sick, and I used to have to run for the bathroom. It's like, don't meet me for this. I had some idiot in Mercy Medical. I heard they sold her for money. I'd love to speak to her and find out what it was like. The word's devastating. Don't ever do that. I cried for months. When people realize how sick and mentally ill sick this is, maybe they'll start realizing how not funny these people are.